Hi, my name is Kathy Sahagian, and I'm a first grade teacher from Ellington School, and I'm so excited to tell you about Ruby Finds a Worry. Ruby Finds a Worry is about a little girl named Ruby who has a worry. And as the story goes on, she doesn't address the problem and it gets bigger and bigger. And she meets a little boy who also has a worry. And at the end of the story, they talk about his worry. And Ruby learns that sharing her feelings can be very helpful and can also be a very powerful experience. I read this book at the beginning of the year because I felt that there was a lot of worries going on in the world. And so it was a great way to get classroom community building happening in my classroom. But I also think I would share this book mid-year as well, because I want to keep checking in on my students and seeing how they're feeling. And I think this book is a perfect read aloud to do that. And a good book is meant to be read more than once. So I would read this book several times throughout the year. The first thing that I would do with this book is I would do a retell. And when I do a retell, I have a little retell rope and I have it knotted like this. The main character of the story was Ruby. The story took place at school, in the garden, at her house, outside. We talk about the setting. The problem was in the story was that Ruby had a terrible worry. And then we talk about details that happened in the story. She took the worry to school and it got bigger. She was out on the playground and it got bigger there, and other details that happened. At the very end is our resolution, or how did the story end? What I do with the retell rope is virtually I'm holding it up and I'm turning it like this. But in the classroom, it's a really nice device because what I do is after I read with the student or with the class, I'll have somebody come up and they actually hold the rope and they can touch it and they know exactly the order in which we tell the story. I also feel this book would be a great way to make a class book. So Ruby finds a worry. I could say, Kathy finds a worry, and I could use a sentence frame with my students. I was worried about, and each child can make a page in this book, and then we could turn it into a class book, and we could call it Our Worries. And this could be something that could be in our classroom library. Virtually, what I would do is I would do it in Google Slides, and I would have a sentence frame where it says something to the effect of their name was worried, and then leave some space for them to write because, and then they could either take a picture of their own drawing or they could find something online doing a Google search and add it to a Google slide. Another activity that you might want to try is a thinking bubble that looks like this. In this thinking bubble, students could draw a picture of themselves down below, and in the middle of the thinking bubble could be their worry. This could be in a classroom book, it could be in a bulletin board, it could be in many different places throughout the year. And I wouldn't just do it once a year. I might do it throughout the year. So at the beginning of the year, what are they worried about? At the middle of the year, what's worrying them? And then at the end of the year, do they still have worries? Are they the same or have they changed? Social emotional learning is a really important part of my classroom library. Students need to know that their worry matters and that their feelings matter. And Ruby Finds a Worry would be a great addition to a classroom library. I can picture myself giving this book to a student who maybe was having a bad day or needs a little bit extra support. This book would be a great comfort to so many students. I hope you will check this one out.